All right, guys. So the next question is prostate. This is a topic that we don't talk enough about as men because the prostate is something, obviously, it's something personal. Nobody likes to go around talking about their prostate with other people in the gym very often. But I will say I'm kind of surprised at some of the conversations people have, regarding their health. But the prostate's very important, guys, because it's one of those things like we can't see. Like you can look in the mirror and flex and see your big bicep and be like, wow, my bicep's improving. My bicep's getting bigger. But your prostate, you're not really going to be able to know if your prostate's getting enlarged or being inflamed or whatnot. Some of the side effects, though, if you are having an enlarged prostate, it's going to be urinary issues. Maybe we go to pee and you're pushing and you can't pee. You have problems. How you pee, like the quickness of getting it over, of urinating. It could affect you in the bedroom. It could affect your performance in the bedroom. It could affect how you perform, how long you perform, all that stuff. So if you notice anything kind of screwy going on, then you really should be aware of that. And I'll say this, guys, this is kind of scary. I read something where if you're over the age of 50, you already have 1 million cancer cells in your prostate. So if you have an enlarged prostate from abusing anabolic steroids, those cancer cells can explode on you. So you want to keep that in mind. So, why do we get enlarged prostates on anabolic steroids? It's very simple, guys. It's the conversion of the hormones to dihydrotestosterone, DHT, and that affects your prostate, and that will cause your prostate to enlarge. So it's very important, guys, not to abuse steroids. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm curious, Rick, you're the supplement guru. Is there any supplements out there that you think will help with the prostate? What are your thoughts on the whole prostate thing?
Yeah, there are a lot of natural ingredients that help with the prostate. One that's really interesting, and I don't have it in any of my products yet, but I'm researching it for a prostate product that I'm working on. It's lycopene. Lycopene is a really nice product. It comes from tomatoes, actually, and one thing, funny enough, you get more lycopene if the tomato's cooked than you do if you eat it raw. So that's just something to note. But lycopene is nice. And the thing about lycopene is, for example, you have those tiny little cancer cells, say, in your prostate. They may never go anywhere. They might be there for life, and it'll never develop into anything because they don't have steady blood supply. Those cancer cells, they just don't have good supply. They're not normal cells. They're not good cells. So they just don't have a good blood supply. But if they get the blood supply, if they get it, they're going to just grow out of proportion. So there's certain chemicals that your cell uses to basically I guess is the best way to say it, to basically call blood vessels into growing in its direction. There are chemicals that your healthy cells can release to have blood vessels begin to grow and feed it. Now, cancerous cells tend to not have or be able to create that signal. And it seems that lycopene helps to actually block it even further, block those cancer cells from actually getting any kind of blood supply or permanent blood supply lines, running up to it, which is basically, so lycopene is a really nice one. Maca and saw palmetto, those are actually good mentions as well. But if you're really concerned about cancer long-term, I think just making sure you add lycopene to your program, make sure you enjoy cooked tomatoes, make sure you're, those things can help. Just the key part is keeping that blood supply from reaching those cancerous cells. Because once one of them grabs on to a steady blood supply, it's going to go out of proportion, and it's on from there. I mean, you're going to have an issue.
Yeah, guys, and one of the big red flags of major prostate issues, ejaculation pain. If you get and then burning when you urinate, but that could also be like a UTI too, urinary tract infection. But you want to look for that too. If you're urinating, if the urine is like dribbling out of you, obviously that's a red flag. But how do you test for prostate? The number one way to test, guys, is just go to a doctor once a year and have them do the finger test. And I've had it done many times. It sucks. They stick a finger like up your ass, and I absolutely hate it. You know what I'm saying? It's like 5 seconds of hell getting a finger up your ass. But that's how they can actually see, they can tell if something's abnormal by doing that. And if it is, the doctor may order additional tests. But if they do decide to put you on a drug to kind of get the prostate smaller, you must work with your doctor as well by stopping anabolic steroids. You must. Like, don't be like, yeah, I'm just going to take the drug the doctor is giving me and then keep abusing steroids, because that absolutely makes no sense. And you're never going to get that prostate back to where it is. Don't fuck with that, guys. You can get prostate cancer very young. It's not one of those cancers that you don't have to worry about. I mean, we see people get prostate cancer who are much younger than other cancers. It's nothing to fuck with. So the finger up the ass, get it done, guys. Don't be one of those people who are like, I don't want to get the finger up the ass. I'd rather get cancer. So don't fuck around with that. Rick, what about you? When was the last time you got the finger in the ass?
About once a year, I get the test. Funny enough, never really had any kind of prostate sensitivity or issues doing juice. But since I started cycling, mountain biking quite a bit, man, it gets tender. If I won't cycle, I'll feel it. So it's one thing I have noticed now, and it's going to bring me back into a full physical and the doctor, is that ever since I started bike riding with the juice, I have felt something a little bit tender and weird going on down there. And I got a new seat, a seat with a hole in the middle, so it doesn't put pressure on that area. But still, it's quite concerning, and I'm going to follow it up for sure. But I mean, look, you can have some benign enlargement that feels uncomfortable. You get some PD side effects, but it's nothing to really worry about. So if you are feeling a little bit of sensitivity, don't go crazy. Just make the appointment, take your time. It could be just benign enlargement, benign tightness, which will tend to happen. It can swell up and not be cancerous, just be something that's going on. So it's something to keep an eye on and be concerned about.
Yeah, and a lot of people listening to this are like, wow, I never even knew this. I never knew anything about the prostate. It's like in weightlifting and bodybuilding, we tend to just look in the mirror and see what we see. We don't think about what's going on inside of us, and that will come back and bite you as you get older. So next one, guys.
And I think on this podcast, we've mentioned before androgen-dependent cancers, cancer cells that will grow when there is an abundant supply of androgen, say male hormones in the body, attaching to the receptors on those cells. And prostate is one of them. Prostate's probably the big one, the androgen-dependent cancer that you could develop from high levels of androgens that you might not otherwise develop if you weren't juicing. So it's something to note, something to be aware of.